Hello and welcome to Sketch Together. This is part of a series on Sketch Basics. On this one, we're going to learn about graphic styles, how important they are, and how they will help you on your workflow. And it's a pretty powerful tool from Sketch, and I think you're gonna love it. So let's go ahead and do that.
So let's go ahead and start with colors. So really basic, it's just like any other design tool. As you can see here, once I select the layer that has a color, you can see it here on the fills and I can see it on the borders too. If I click on it, you will see two different panels. One that is global colors and document colors. Right now I don't have a document color, but I do have global colors. The global colors are a set of colors that will follow you through any other document that you add. So for example here, I have this color. Let's change it to a reddish, a pinkish reddish, and I want to add it to my document colors. And now I added it to my document colors, but as you can see, it's not on my global colors. That means that when I create a new document, for example, I create a new one here, if I want to change the color and I want to apply that color, it's not there on, it's not that color, I cannot find it because it's not part of this document. If I were to add it on my global colors, let's go back and let me add that color. I'm going to add it to my global colors. It's right there. And now I go back to that new file, and now I can apply that color right there because now I added that color to my global colors, and it's going to be following me on any other file that I open. So if you have colors that you know that you're going to be using over and over, like for example, shades of gray or probably a green and a blue, you can add them to your global colors. That way you always have those colors available for you to reuse. And if you know that you have colors that are particular for this document, you can add them right here on your document colors. So that's pretty much the basic of colors. And obviously also too, you can select colors by using hue, saturation, and brightness. So you can do that, and also you can use a hex code. So it's pretty easy. Like for example, if I were to want I don't know, a blue, I can go into hue and I can change it around here, any of these blues, and then I can just change the brightness by going up or down. So the higher it is, the brighter it is, and the lower it is, the more darker it is. And also vertically from left to right, you edit the saturation of your color. And you can do this here on this panel, and you can also do it here with numbers. The A represents alpha, so that will give you a translucity. So for example, if I were to put 50, now that gives me a 50% opacity. If I change it back to 100, oops, sorry, that was 100. There you go. Now it's 100% opacity. And yeah, that's pretty much how colors work. You can also change from HSV to hue, saturation, and brightness, also to RGB if you wish to do that. Just like go here and just tap on it and just click on it, and you can change that if you prefer working on RGB. And that's how you control colors. Something cool too about colors is that you don't just have to use colors. You can also use gradients when you're adding a fill. You can use gradients, and for example here I can use a linear gradient. I can use a radial gradient, and I can edit it here. For example, if I want to move it, I can do it here, and I can change the colors over here. So I select this color and I change it to this, and then probably this one is going to be a little bit darker, and I can see it here live. And if I wanted to add more colors to my gradient and I want to get a little bit groovy, I can certainly do that. And also something that is pretty cool and pretty powerful is adding images. So for example, I have this image, and usually it gives you patterns, but you can also add, for example, if I were to add this image, and I'm going to actually use an image that I already have somewhere else. So I'm going to choose an image from anywhere. I'm going to, for example, I have a chicken burrito. I'm going to put a chicken burrito as my fill. And as you can see, first it is trying to put it as a tile, but I can also use fill. And that way it will try to do its best on top and from top to bottom and left to right to fill the edges of your layer. So this is a square, but if I were to transform it like this, see how the burrito still keeps the same proportions. It's not stretching, it's just adjusting to the center horizontally and vertically and adjusting its size. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feature. So you can use that as a fill. And that's it. That's it for colors and fills. Now let's understand about graphic styles. Sometimes you have a style that you want to be using over and over. So for example, I have this color that I know I'm going to be using in many elements, and I call it black. And as you can see here, I have here a list of different styles that I applied that I'm going to be using over and over. So for example, this one is red. I call it red, but it's not quite red. I can just change it here. Probably around there. Now it looks like a red. And then the cool thing about this is that anywhere you want to edit this color, you want to reuse this color and apply it anywhere else. So for example, if I were to use, let me just duplicate this, and all of these 3 elements are using the same graphic style that is called black. Tomorrow, probably this black, you know what, it's going to be a little bit lighter, that black. And I change it here, and it doesn't change anywhere else. But if I press the refresh button right here, see how it now changes here too. That way, if I make a change in one place, it will create, it apply those changes everywhere else where that graphic style is being applied, which is pretty cool. I'm going to do the same here, and let's create a new graphic style. So for example, here I have this yellow, and if I want to create a new graphic style, it automatically tells me there's no share style. And so I can go to the drop down and create a new share style, and I can call it anything. So I'm going to call it yellow. And I call it yellow, and that's it. Now, whatever I want, if I want to apply that same color here, I don't have to copy the color or anything. I can just apply the graphic style. Boom. Something cool about graphic styles too is that it is not just the color. You can add multiple effects. So for example, if I want to add a gradient and probably not just a fill, but also a stroke, and I want to get a little bit crazy with this style. Let's get a little bit, let's add a stroke. It's a little bit bigger like that, and see how, let's even add an effect. I'm going to add a shadow. Let's make that shadow a little bit bigger. There you go. So here this one is still using the same graphic style, right? But over here I'm going to update it here on the refresh button, and now it updates here too. So wherever I'm using the same graphic style, it will apply the same thing. And over here, for example, I want to change it from black to that cool yellow that I just created with multiple effects. You can do that easily, and that will save you a lot of time. So yeah, that's graphic styles, and use them carefully and responsibly, and it will help you with your workflow.